Okay guys, I am now recording on my home computer, so I'll actually be able to talk and explain to you a little bit about what you are seeing here. This is the current controller. I'm showing you the collision box here so I can, show exactly what's working, what isn't. Um, Character moves around when in the melee state just by, facing the direction of movement. So A's left, S down, D right, W up. When you aim, it actually uses velocity and changes the animation based on the point you're aiming at. So like that, now forward is A and backward is D. If I'm going this way, forward is W and backward is S, and then it just changes the strafing and the animation based on where you're aiming the weapon, which is the nice flower pot that I'm using as my reticule here. Another thing I'll go ahead and say that I've added is bullet marks on the walls. And there's a muzzle flash for this particular gun and a muzzle light. There's a couple bugs with this. As you'll notice, the bullets go through the wall. And since these are particles, I have to figure out how to make them not go through things, to kill themselves after a certain amount of time. But it's something I need to work on. I also added crouch, as you can see, but the problem is I have not made the collider get smaller. So if I were to get behind cover and something was shooting me, I would still be getting hit because the collider is still, normal height. In gameplay, that collider will get smaller so that you can hide behind cover. While crouching, you cannot melee attack, but you can aim. Right now, aiming just takes you to the basic aiming, but what I want it to do is to take you to a crouched aim state, which will look a little bit different. It'll look like the player's trying to, or the character's trying to crouch over, or not crouch, but, like lean over cover to aim. Right now, it just stands straight up, and you can fire. But I want it eventually to work where it's just like they're trying to aim over the cover, not standing straight up. I also want to have it where you can press the activate button or the interact button and vault cover. I don't have animations for a lot of this stuff, so it's kind of hard for me to actually implement it. Now to jumping. Jumping works. Here's the standing jump, just a basic jump. This jump doesn't work if you're moving. Now the moving jump is a little bit better, and it looks a little wonky because I don't have the best jump animations. But how it works is there's a jump up animation, and it's just a basic animation. But once the character starts falling down, it triggers the jump down animation. You'll see it sort of blend in right there, right when it starts falling down. The legs like extend to the ground. Now, when you hit the ground, it triggers the land. See? Triggers the land animation. And then blends into the run. Now, there's something else I'll show you in a second where I've also got it where if you jump off something and your velocity gets to a certain point, it triggers a falling animation, which eventually can be used with a land hard, like a roll or something for the character, or land death if you fall too far into like a death zone or whatever. But I'm gonna show you the melee works much better now. This weapon actually works correctly. It's doing 2 hits to kill, 150 damage per hit, and it's based on collision. I mean, I've got these prefabs here which you can destroy either way. Alright, let's jump over here. Kill this guy. Alright, now, right now, I can't kill these guys down here. And you'll notice that there's no bullet tracer when there's not a collision object. That's just basically how the script's set up right now. So you'll always need to have collision objects, or there won't be a tracer. Because what it's doing is sending out a ray trace, and if there's a ray trace hit on a object, then it's essentially allowing a bullet to be fired and taking a bullet away from the ones you own. Eventually, whenever I get around to it, you're going to be able to hit these guys down here by allowing a ray trace from the aim that is going to control the pitch of the character, basically whether the character aims up or down. It's going to handle almost exactly the way it does as in Lara Croft in The Guardian of Light. If a character is below, her torso will rotate forward a bit to aim down, therefore the bullets will head towards the character on the ground. That way you'll be able to sit here and you can shoot all these characters as long as you have it aimed in their general direction, because that raycast will hit and it'll bring it down. It's not going to be an auto aim. If you miss, or if you don't have your aim off, or if you're far away, because these bullets actually do have, I don't know if I can show it accurately here, but there is bullets with this weapon, and you can have some pretty, have quite a bit of bullet spread. Alright, so I've shown crouch, shown jump. There's a bug with jump right now. Notice 360. I haven't figured out why, but if you jump and then jump, if you try and turn right as you jump, like if you change direction right as you jump, it starts spinning, which it shouldn't do, but I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure out why it does that. Alright, now I'm gonna show you the all wonderful falling animation, which actually isn't a falling animation, it's just an animation I put in there so that I know the character is falling. See, there it was. I had reached the terminal velocity, it had gone to a falling animation, but the falling animation will transfer back into the default landing animation since I don't have a hard landing animation. So, basically, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna kill these zombies. Of course, damage values are not correct. I'm just, testing. So you can see that, we're getting there. I'm likely not going to add a dodge until I actually have a dodge animation. I'm not going to expand upon the crouch aiming system until I get that animation system, or animations. I've kind of laid the groundwork for what we're doing here, and there's a couple bugs to fix, like the jumping bug, unless you just want people doing 360s. I want to add a stealth attack, which I can just use one of the attack animations I have. Basically, if you you'll attack from stealth, it will take you out of the crouch toggle, and it'll perform a stealth attack with high damage. Eventually, I'll make it where if you're behind a character, it does, the high damage. If you're not, it's just regular damage. Other things that need to be added in are obvious, the whole stat system, health system, stuff like that. I mean, the character does have a health system, it just isn't really, it's not triggered to actually do anything right now. So, we still got a lot of work to do. Oh, one thing, I don't know if y'all have noticed this in the videos, or if it ever shows up in the tiny videos I've showed before, is that there is you can scroll the camera a bit away from the character, which I thought was an interesting little thing that you could do. And we can set this to higher values, so you could even scroll it where, the character is all the way over here when you're over there, so you can get really far sight lines in certain directions. But, yeah. That's where the actual game controller is at now. Next thing I'm probably going to be working on is a grapple hook ability that will pull enemies to you or pull you towards things that are of a weight that you aren't able to pull, if that makes sense. So you hit a wall, it's going to pull the character to the wall. You hit an enemy that's not very heavy, it's going to pull the enemy to you. So that's going to be my next real project with this, probably that I'll work on a little bit next week and maybe actually have it working by the end of next week, along with fixing whatever this jump bug is. Alright, anyways, that's all I gotta say for right now, guys. Hope y'all are enjoying what you're doing and what I'm doing, and I hope we have some fun. Later.